r/AskReddit by Redmond ETS. What cliche about the United States do you hear most? That isn't true. Not anymore. I come from an immigrant family, travel abroad often, and have a lot of immigrant friends mainly from East Asian countries. From my experiences and from what people have told me, American food nowadays is more diverse than what they had thought, but at the same time burgers, hot dogs, and pizza are genuinely delicious foods. We do not all drive gas-guzzling 4x4 trucks. Plenty of people have told me they learned to be more assertive in order to get what they want after moving here, but they were mildly surprised that Americans are not as aggressive or pushy as they initially thought. We don't all have generic Southern or generic East Coast accents. Americans do not all walk around with a gun holstered to their waist. United States beer is no longer just Budweiser and Miller. The US craft beer makers are some of the top in the world now. Once met a woman from New Zealand in Europe who said she would never come to the United States because of the mafia everywhere. What? Lol. That's like avoiding Canada because of Bigfoot. I lived in Chicago for a few years. I don't doubt I crossed a few gang members here and there, but mobsters? If I did, I wouldn't have known. Now I live in rural Indiana. What the hell would Tony Soprano be doing here? The majority of us are not like the weirdos making the headlines. That we all wear shoes in the house. It all depends on the cultural background of each household. I come from an Asian immigrant family, and we do not wear shoes in the house. That we're the fattest country on earth. Quite a few countries have surpassed us in obesity. Not everyone in the US is constantly eating fast food and shooting guns. Some of us actually enjoy kale and reading books. That we're terrible and rude tourists, the ugly American abroad. Americans are certainly loud and can be entitled. Often it's due to cultural differences such as being surprised that you get very little ice in your drinks and they don't do refills. Also, sweet tea isn't a thing in Europe. The rudest tourists in the world are, by far, mainland Chinese and the British, specifically the English. That they're rude. Certainly, I've encountered some that are. However, the vast majority that I've encountered are very polite, gracious, and generous people. Said it before, and will say it again. Americans are the best at small talk. Signed, a Canadian. You are not at any major risk of being victim to gun violence while visiting the country. 9 times out of 10, the gun violence is coming from an area that doesn't care about you and you will not visit. And that 10th time is an extreme outlier case. Also, chances are if you're getting shot, you're partaking in something to get your ass shot. And no, mass shootings hardly make up the overall statistics, and I'm talking about actual mass shootings, not a gang beef that flares up at school. That nobody here has electric tea kettles, or that they're not even stocked in department stores. I've found them in almost every house I've been to in the US, and in every store that sells home goods except when they're temporarily out of stock. Yes, even though they're less efficient than in many other countries because of our voltage standards. Some of the people who say this are from the US, so I think it's likely regional, but it's definitely not true that it's universally hard to find electric kettles or tea drinkers in the United States. Americans don't travel internationally, or Americans don't have passports. Millennials and Generation Z may not be able to afford to buy homes, but they love to travel the world and make Instagram-worthy memories. Not all Americans own guns. In fact, most Americans don't. Only about 1/3 own guns. People seem to think that because we have more guns than people that it must mean everyone has several guns. It doesn't. It means a handful of people have a crap load of guns. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.